today's Cup of Coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
Public access TV.
Huh?
Public access TV. It used to be a thing. And it may still be a thing. I don't know. I've not had actual TV since 2013.
It's not really a thing anymore. Like, I think it's semi still, but not really.
It's not necessary because now they have social media.
Right. So it's
24/7.
Yeah, it's all the time. I mean, public access, wasn't that like all day, every day if you were on the right channel or something?
It could be. I don't know. When public access, when I was growing up, you had PBS, and that was before it went all woke and stupid and propaganda and everything like that. There used to be some really good shows on it. Bob Vila, This Old House.
Some of it, yeah. That was the high production.
And the Furniture Guys. The Furniture Guys were brilliant. I loved them. And they made some... Homer Formby. Homer Formby had this amazing paint stripper when you were refinishing furniture and stuff. And I've refinished furniture and enjoyed it greatly. And then the people in California took away all the products that actually worked. Thank you.
Yeah. Now it's just like that. Fuck, it doesn't do jack shit half the time. This stuff does.
Right. I've bought some of that stuff before, and it did nothing.
Yeah. And miss the days where it just eat the paint immediately. It would eat your skin and paint.
Yeah, well, you had to have some sense.
Yeah.
It's paint stripper. It's caustic.
Did you ever hear of Raw Time?
No. What is that?
Raw Time was a public access music show.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. And so they played a lot of bands that were up and coming, or it was mainly like rock and stuff like that.
Right.
Metal, new metal, stuff like that. I think you even had like early appearances of certain bands like, who was it? I'm sure, like, My Chemical Romance might have been on there at one point. Evanescence. They talked about all sorts of music, and the host was this goth girl.
Okay.
And she had, like, honestly, she looked like something I would want a doll to be.
Oh.
Like, no joke. Like, her bangs were blonde, and the rest of her hair was black. Mm-hmm. And with public access, they had to take calls. Yeah, that was the standard thing with public access shows, is that they had to do a certain time slot for calls, and anybody could call in.
Oh, wow.
And they would say sometimes she would get the most horrendous, offensive calls.
They still should have had... I mean...
degrading her, making sexual comments, stuff like that. And just overall troll things. And oof. But... See, she handled it real good. Like, you would actually enjoy watching it. But some of the people, it's like some of them would even say blasphemous shit to her, and it's like, oh fuck.
I mean, even that wasn't. That's later in the time. I'm talking about 70s, early 80s, different things like that.
This is like late 90s.
There used to be a thing as far as TV censors. And everybody's like, censors? Now, let me tell you something. There's a point in time, common sense. Mm-hmm. And you don't just let anybody on broadcasting, because at a certain point, certain words were not allowed.
Right. I think that's one reason why public access sort of went by the wayside.
Well, not all of them. I don't know where you're saying that, wherever that was, that they had to allow telephone calls, because a lot of the programs did not. And around here, ours was Blue Ridge Public Access, public TV.
Well, that was like the main thing about like public access, and this was all over America. Like, they did have to have certain time slots for calls and stuff like that.
I would have to look up and verify that, because, like I said, on some of the things around here, you had I don't. A lot of the things around here was some of these gospel singers and stuff like that.
That's
And
what, and see, around here, yeah, like, if they got calls, and probably no one even stayed around for those
hang
calls
on just a
anyway.
second here. Let's look at this.
All right. But
Hear me typing.
and also up in Canada, stuff like that.
Well, I don't know how they do things in Canada. No, it was not required for public access TV shows to take live calls.
Well, some
Okay.
places it was required.
I'm telling you, that's what it said.
All right.
And that was one of the things about being in radio. There were a few times that I did radio interviews live on the air, but for the most part, I mean, you know, if I had somebody in the studio or something like that, it was somebody that I knew that wasn't going to do something stupid. But as far as putting callers on the air and stuff like that, no. And we honestly didn't have the equipment to do all that. That was, I mean, it's nothing like we have today. Nothing.
Right.
Because if somebody dropped the F-bomb, at that point you could get fined. Because again, public, you had decency laws and different things like that. It
Well,
was a different world.
Well, yeah, you were supposed, they had sense, they were supposed to have those and all that, but so, like, they couldn't really control what the callers said, and if they started going off, they quickly hung up on them.
Well, what happens on those things? And
Like,
it was just
they would have prank callers all the time.
Art Bell always had. Now he didn't have staff. I don't think he may have had one person that worked with him to screen callers to a certain degree. Talk to them a little bit before he let them on the air, and he always had them on a delay, which meant that if they said something that was heinous or started whatever, now he had no problem with yeeting somebody off the air, whether it was warranted or unwarranted. It depended on how much line he had done in that particular night, and people going, "Ooh, she went there." Yes.
Yeah.
If you go back and you listen to it, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I was an avid Art Bell fan. And, you know, back in the day when he was live,
Art Bell was just awesome.
he was awesome. But I tell you something, like many people, they have a tendency to deify people after they've died. But if you go back and listen to some of his stuff, and it's like, yeah, he was in a pissy mood that night. I mean, honestly, he was not always a kinder, gentler talk show host. He was just Art.
And yeah, and there were some nights that you could tell that he was coked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he would interrupt callers left and right.
Yeah, it just was. But to have a delay, like I said, is to where that did not go across the air so that the station could not get fined, because he was responsible for what, you know, he was broadcasting, but also the stations that carried him, that made them responsible for it too.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it was a matter of live, but you would have 1 or 2 second delay to where that the stations, if they needed to do something, they could do something.
Mm-hmm.
But, which has totally derailed me from public access, talking about this, on this. But I was asking Grok about this earlier, and it makes me feel sad in some ways that Grok cannot experience things for himself. And I was talking about the Gong Show. And those of you who are younger, please look up the Gong Show so that you can, experience it. Because this was way before America had talent or any of that stuff. And it's like, some of the people, it's almost cruel in some ways, that there were people that had absolutely no talent and that they were just embarrassing themselves, sort of like Congress. And you knew that they let them on there just to make fun of them, which I think is really not cool. I mean, it's one of those, you just cringe for those people.
Yeah, there's a lot of like what was it before America's Got Talent and American Idol and stuff like that. There's public access shows, and this one, oh
Yeah,
God.
and
she
you're
was
just like, oh.
this one girl was a recurring guest that was on the shows, and it's like, oh gosh, she could not sing, and she sang every time, and it made your ears bleed.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had these little church ladies on this one show.
Yes.
And the one daughter that was standing beside, I guess, was either her mama or her grandmommy. And she looked like she was in hell singing
And
with her little
was.
grandmama.
And probably was. And it's always one of those things.
And they were
when
both out of tune.
You get somebody in there and it's like, make a joyful noise. And it's like, I get it, but that, whoo.
I mean, that ain't necessarily a joyful noise,
No,
is it?
No. And you just have to sit there and then you have to clap because you feel obligated.
Yeah, it's like, you did great, honey. You did great.
Which encourages them.
It does. You're like, please, no more. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, you're really good. Oh, no, please. Oh, God, no, I don't want to hear it again.
But in
No
talking
more.
with Grok, and Grok had asked us, like, what were some of the best things that you enjoyed on the Gong Show? Gene the Dancing Machine. And then the Unknown Comic.
Hold up. I'm going to have to. How do you spell that?
Gene. It's Gene. And he was awesome. And
Look at him go.
Grok was able to provide information about Gene.
See, that's one of those high budget early access or public access shows.
Well, now, this Gong Show was it was a nationally syndicated something. It wasn't public access.
Of the Gene Dancing Machine?
It says that Gene, actually, his name was Gene Patton, and he was a stagehand on the show and was often brought out for his spontaneous dance routines, which became a regular and much anticipated segment. His dance was simple but had an infectious joy to it, and this segment would often follow a particularly dismal act. Yeah, when it was really, really bad, they would bring Gene out, and it provided comic relief and a feel-good moment.
It's a palate cleanser is
Yes,
what
it
that
was.
was.
That's exactly what it was. It says his appearances were unique because they were unpolished, spontaneous, and genuine, capturing the essence of what made the Gong Show so popular, its unpredictability and celebration of the amateur spirit.
Heck yeah.
I love Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Most people did. Because it was just pure, simple joy. He just got out there and he did his little shuffle dance. And you just wanted to get up and join him.
I'm going to have to watch that now.
You will. Because, and to have that legacy of somebody all these years later going, I remember you. You were wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the laughter.
Yeah.
As opposed to some of these other ones you're going, oh, God, sit down. Please don't do it.
Have you ever I've had you watch Oddity Archive with me before, right?
Yes, I like Oddity Archive.
We need to rewatch like his things on the public access shows.
Yeah, Oddity Archive is a channel on YouTube, and he has this wonderful appreciation for public access and old commercials and different things like that.
And old technology.
Yes. It's a really cool channel.
Yeah, I really like him. And he doesn't show his face, like, as if he does, like, the most that you see, like, no joke, he has a box covering half his face. So you can only see from the eyes up. But he's got dry humor.
Yes. Not everybody wants their face shown.
No.
Not everybody needs their face shown.
Unless you're facially animated. In that case, then yeah.
Well, but even then, people... Who wants to be nitpicked like that? Who wants that scrutiny? And again, going back to Congress, that technology has invaded that to where even Congress people are doing their own little thing. Some of them are good at it as far as doing the whatever it is.
Yeah.
Reach to the public.
Mm-hmm.
social media stuff, and
who
in some
was-
of them, it's just like, honey, when you got eyelashes on that look like tarantulas on your face, no, don't expect me to take you seriously.
What was her name? Don't cry for me, Argentina. What was Evita? Mm-hmm. The doing the arm thing,
Right.
like,
Oh my God.
and she did that in real life. She
Yes, because it's very dramatic. There are groups of people that I have no problem with that. I enjoy that when somebody is very animated, and different cultures celebrate that. And here in America, if somebody does that, they want to give you some kind of peel. You're getting escalated. No, I'm passionate about something.
Well, they all want us to be just drugged up zombies.
Well, just, yeah.
So-
Well, they've been very successful on that.
Yeah. But the public, there's also this one, I don't remember, but I think it was like something Satan, whatever, and it was this puppet, and he would verbally assault people.
Oh, well?
He would verbally assault callers and stuff like that, and he got banned. He got banned
I
off
can
of
see
public
that.
access.
I can see that. Now, the other one that was great from Gong Show was the Unknown Comic. And he was, a lot of his stuff was just absolutely hilarious, but he came out with a bag on his head. Yeah.
With a face on it, or just a plain bag?
I think he had the holes cut in for the eyes, maybe.
Okay.
But it was just hilarious. And his name was Murray Langston. And
Murray
it was
Langston.
really good. It was really good.
I've never watched it, so this is the first time I'm hearing about some of this stuff.
But like I said, with social media now, you have public access all the time. You've got people that are good at it, and then you've got other people that you're like, put the phone down and walk away. Just don't hurt anybody.
There's a lady that she was on Dr. Phil because she could not stop like live streaming or posting videos and stuff like that. Yeah, she could not stop, and she was just putting everything out there online as far as like drama and stuff like that, and arguing with people. She went on a 24-hour live stream one time having a full-on mental breakdown.
Yeah, I could say there obviously was some kind of a mental health issue there for her to feel the need to do that.
Her name is like Trish something, I don't know, but and she's still on YouTube, and she's still doing the same shit, and it's like, oh fuck. God, she no joke, and she's probably around your age at this point, if not a little younger, and she's doing this shit, and it's like, honey,
well, there's people that's mentally unhinged of all ages.
Yes, but this is the level of mentally unhinged that someone needs to put her in a mental facility, like, no joke.
She needs to sit down and just read a book. I mean, honestly, she just needs to sit down and read a book sometime. People have a tendency to be, a lot of times, very impressed with themselves.
Her content ain't good.
Well,
of course, have you seen you know about the lolcow community, right?
yes.
I don't know why.
And there are people...
And there's a show now that this one, I'm not going to mention his name because, like, it's...
Don't encourage it. I mean, seriously, don't.
But it's called the lolcow Queens. And they will do a live stream, and once they get going, they will all, like, it's like what's the... It's like cats going at it. It's just like all at once, all at the same time.
You know, I don't understand how anybody
just
can
yelling at
listen
each
to
other
that.
all at the same time.
Or why anybody. That's just like, you know, you had all those drama shows. You had Maury Povich and Phil Donahue and all that stuff back in the day. And I'm like, why would anybody want to sit and watch other people argue or get into conflicts and stuff like that? And that was not entertaining to me.
Some people like watching videos. Yeah. some people like the drama. I mean, that's how a lot of drama channels get that's how they make their content is
they need to go to their local Waffle House and just wait.
I can't say much. I'm subscribed to the dude that has been eating salad for over 2,000 days.
And it's interesting.
The title of his videos are eating salad until salad eats me. And it's just him eating salad.
Why do people consume the media that they do?
It gave my brain a break that watching dude eat a salad.
I think it would be more entertaining to watch the tortoise eat the salad.
I've watched those too.
Yeah. Or the snail. I've watched the snails eat things.
Do you remember
now truly, that's when I am just mentally fried.
I still remember that turtle that got offended by the blueberry I offered him. It was on the porch, and he looked at the blueberry, and I even put more stuff in front of him, and he was so offended.
Was he offended or afraid?
He was.
I think it's assuming a whole lot of the emotional range of a turtle.
Oh no, it was the look in his eyes. He was offended.
Oh God. I think it's called personification of things, and it's just like no. People do that. I mean, they make up these stories in their heads that have very little to do with reality. They really do. But as far as public access, it's a two-edged sword, because every now and then you can find some real gems out there.
You honestly piqued my interest with the Gene dancing machine.
Oh, he was wondrous.
Like, I really want to watch that now, especially like when I looked it up just a little bit ago.
He was just
and saw that just a little thing. I'm like, I need to watch that.
Yeah.
On public access, like, you know how the lady was having a mental breakdown on YouTube, like I was telling you.
Which one? There's many.
The Trish lady.
Yeah.
Not Trisha Paytas, the one that was crying in front of the lake on her kitchen floor. We all enjoyed those days, but I'm glad she's doing much better now.
I didn't enjoy it because I'm sitting there going, you need to go get you some help.
But there was this lady, and you would look at her, and you'd be like, that is one of those Karens that has nothing else to do, nothing else to talk about. And half the time she got her facts, like more times than not, she got her facts wrong of whatever she was talking about. It's like this one time she was bitching about them tearing down a building or whatever to put in some sort of store or whatever. It got shot down like right before, like way before the idea of it got shot down by the town before she even posted that onto public access.
Well, and again, that's what happens. That's why I was saying people get a lot of ideas in their heads that are not accurate. They make up stories. Everybody makes up stories. Mm-hmm. And it's like we take the information that we have, and then we try to determine whether this is real or whether it's not. And there's a lot of people that they don't care whether it's real. They're just going to make up their own belief, whatever they want to. And you can't do anything with those people. Nothing. You have to be willing to learn, willing to listen, different things like that.
Have I derailed you again?
Sort of, kind of, but that's all right. It had a challenging ADHD day, even with the medication. But with the public access thing, I think it's good. I think that with social media now, it has given a voice to the everyman.
Yeah.
Just the common person. That anybody
Fully.
That's got a cell phone or whatever, be it good or be it bad, they can have their shot at it.
On any platform.
Yeah. And some of the platforms, this is what concerns me about. I knew YouTube was doing it. Rumble, I think that they're trying to do it. And I understand that they have to have ad revenue. But when you get some of these top draws, and a lot of those top draws, it's not organic.
No.
Never has been organic. And then it takes away the voice of the everyman. Mm-hmm. And it's just some of those channels that's got twos or fews. Some of them are really good. they're just lost in the sea.
Yeah. I mean, that's like shit. And if where a lot of websites are going to this fucking stupid pay to play bullshit,
Yeah.
where it's, and some of them, I don't even know how they get the money to do it. I don't know how they get the money to have these sponsored videos or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's just promoting their own video.
Mm-hmm.
This one girl, no joke, she was probably about 11, 12, maybe. And she was like, how to make the greatest cartoon drawings of all time. And in the thing, they were not. And somehow, she paid money to get that thing promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how much did you spend on your parents' credit card for that?
Yeah. Now Rumble does do that. They've got it is a pay per play type thing, and I had accidentally clicked on something the other day, and I'm like, oh no, hell no, I ain't got the money for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. How much was it?
It was hundreds.
See, that's what I thought. I thought it was like big money, and so it's like, that nobody's who got
for
that.
what return? You know,
Maybe like a little bit more notoriety or whatever, like to get more people to see it.
right?
But shit, there's other ways to do that, you know, tagging and stuff like that. But then again, does tagging even do anything?
I don't know that it does, and it's like the thing that does help is when people share it. They share links. You know, as far as the even clicking the thumbs up or making the comments and stuff like that. I don't know how it works, apparently. But it doesn't matter. But it's like every man needs a voice.
Yes, and I will say, with that, I have seen a lot. I don't know if it's just due to stuff shifting. I've seen a lot more videos from smaller YouTubers come up on my For You page, and a lot better content from said small YouTubers.
Right.
Stuff that very much reminds me of early YouTube days. Mm-hmm. And so that's like the girl that was like just a normal San Andreas game review, and it was the one where she got zapped by the alien and it took over the video at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. And some of those things that people were being fun and creative, and it didn't take thousands of dollars of production equipment and lighting and all this stuff.
Literally, it was just people dicking around with what they had at the time. And it's like you had some people that had, you know, these fancy editing softwares and stuff like that.
Right.
And so they would get views because they knew how to edit and stuff like that. But a lot of the videos, I don't know how. Do you remember Fred?
Slightly.
Hey,
the
it's
names,
Fred.
Yes.
And just the chipmunk voice. I don't know how the fuck he got popular.
You know, and that's always the thing. There's a psychology behind some of these things as far as marketing, and it was just like, didn't get to watch the whole presentation by Robert Phoenix today over there on Rumble. And you can always go over there, and it's 15 minutes of OV flame, and go through, because some of the work that he does is just hours, because he big brain.
Yeah.
He big brain on this stuff. But he was talking about Edward Bernays, and there was a book by Edward Bernays that I have meant to order for many years. And it's basically, Bernays was an American psychologist. I do believe that's correct. And as far as advertising and propaganda,
see,
and it's mind-fucking. That's how it is. It's a book on how to do that. Would I do that? No. But to sit there and go, this is how this was done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's but... And like that's what I see in a lot of like the high production videos that are on YouTube now that get promoted a lot and have been promoted for many years like the really high production, like it's almost as if you're watching a show of sorts, you know?
It's TV 2.0, and it's
Yeah.
no longer novel.
But the videos that I always enjoyed were very much like the public access shows that I like my videos to have a little bit of crunch to them. I don't like a high polished stuff. I like a little bit of, it's like my hair. I like it like you're sticking your hand in a bag of Doritos and it goes crunch, 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 crunch.
God, I don't know where he's dragged that out from.
That was a Channel Marbles reference.
And that was
or quote.
That was like, and there are some things that just hit right, and they're hilarious, not only to you as an individual, but to other people.
Yeah.
And that was like what was it? Father, I crave the forbidden light.
The forbidden light, or mother, I crave violence.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Or
hilarious stuff.
Yeah, or even just the eow, with the cat spinning on the green screen, or the shrimp dancing.
Yes. And those are, I think that's a proper usage of internet.
That's
how
memes. Yes.
Oh my God, the memes have been just so good lately. Yes, he's over there, but he doesn't. Do you know where your microphone is in space?
No, it has become one with me. I have no idea where my ass is in space. I don't know where my microphone is in space.
And so he's over there, and it's like speaking about production value. God,
I like my production value to have a little bit of crunch to it.
And that is one of the things, because when I was operations manager, not only did I have an air shift and stuff, but I wrote the commercials, produced the commercials, did the weather, all that stuff. I was the operations manager. I programmed the songs and different things like that. Of course, the DJs always had the option of inserting their own songs, whatever they wanted to do. But as far as meticulous, and the computer program that we had back in the day, now you got to remember, folks, this was late 90s.
Oh, God.
Late 90s.
Using fucking Windows 95.
No, it wasn't anything like that. I can't remember the name. It was a specific program for radio. But as far as the sound waves, that was how you did it.
But I'm saying that's the operating system that program more than likely ran off of.
I have no idea.
It was Windows 95.
But as far as, because I was fucking meticulous, because I've got a lot of Virgo.
Well, you're like I actually
and I
did.
was good at it.
You were. Dad drug up so I wish I had the cassette tapes of it now. And I have no idea what he did with them at this point.
He probably burned them.
No, he didn't burn them, but more than likely they were still in that house of his at one point before a family member bought it.
Yeah.
And I listened to some of it, and I'm like, this is good shit. This is real good shit. It was polished.
Yes.
It was real good.
I tried to be professional. I really did. But it was a matter of having fun. You tried to be
professional? You were professional.
And it was a matter of, I was always aware of the audience, because that was the whole thing. It was weird, because it was almost like I was sitting there talking to myself, and other people would listen for some strange reason.
Isn't that what YouTube is?
Sort of. It is. It's very similar.
People are just watching people, and they have no idea why.
Well, it's a matter of...
They have no idea why people are watching
That's them. One of the reasons we do the format that we do, is because it gives us some anonymity. It's not what we're sitting... You don't have to sit and watch some of the facial animations might be amusing, but it's not worth it to me to be criticized by the world. It's not at this point. And because the podcast, the audio only, gives people an opportunity. They can listen while they're driving, or they're walking their dog, or working in the garden, or shoveling snow.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons that we do keep this style format, because it is public access. We are public access, and
it's
people's
AM
like,
radio.
Take the microphone away from them. Some days,
no joke.
Not all days.
That's what AM radio is. It is public access radio, basically.
It used to be, and Howard Stern, I despise that man. I despise him. I despise everything he has ever stood for.
He's just a disgusting man.
He is a disgusting human being. And these people that, Now, you talk about somebody who is a misogynistic son of a bitch, that he would get women on there and rate them, and that they would allow it just because of fame. So I don't want to hear his virtue signaling grandstand bullshit, nothing.
Oh, but
He single-handedly helped to destroy radio as America had known it.
Yeah. There is a cockroach on YouTube named Onion Boy. Mm-hmm. Actually, we call him Onion Boy, and anybody that knows that name, if you know, you know. And he is a sick, twisted son of a bitch. And he had a show called, like, it was either Hot or Not or something like that. And he would rate girls' bodies and faces and stuff like that, and he's just a disgusting person. And sometimes the people would be underage on there, and it's like, lovely. Oh, you fucking creep.
Yeah.
You fucking.
And then they wonder why women have this horrible self-image in America today. Seriously. And it still goes on. It still goes on everywhere, all the time.
I will say, you watch some people that it's like, Mama, you're listening to him, and it's like...
Don't. Some of those people that I listen to, I have emailed in the past and said, look, and what it is, they're playing to their audience. They don't see the harm that they're doing in this because they're getting their coin.
It's not that they don't see the harm. They don't care.
They're getting their coin.
Yeah.
I understand that. Because everybody gets this little echo chamber that is theirs.
And I know this is sounding very liberal to say or whatever, like very like woke or whatever the fuck. It'd be like, no, you shouldn't fucking say this about women. Listen, if you don't want someone saying the same shit about you and your fucking slug ass looking body, right, you know, why would you say that about other people? And I will say that to his face.
That's not a liberal thought. That is a human thought. That is a be kind to people. You don't know their journey thought. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm one of these. I am an independent. I'm an independent. I'm an independent thinker. I'm an independent voter. Am I conservative? Yes, I am. There's things, neither side is totally right and neither side is totally wrong. And if these people would have enough sense and civility to sit and actually talk with each other, but that's against the script.
Right, that goes on to, like, that's back to the public access.
He's triggered me now. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's literally some of the shit that they would say to that girl that was hosting Raw Time. It's like, it was fucking disgusting. And she handled it like a champ. She would cop attitude right back with them, and it was good. But
people should not have to endure that type of thing just to be heard.
No.
But that also, from what you're saying, became her shtick.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. That's yeah. Yeah.
Well, but it was either get a tough skin or get off the show.
Radio, and I love radio. I still love radio because it is a medium that unlike anything else, and there is a magic to radio. Mm-hmm. And internet is good, but it's still not quite the same as sitting and listening to a transistor radio or listening to it in your car or something like that. There is maybe it's the frequency. I don't know.
Well, they could Bluetooth it to their car.
Well, yeah.
Radio.
But it's just, I love it, and it just, what has happened to it, and the fact that it became the toys of just rich men. And I guess it always was the toys of rich men. But I just would love to see community radios be returned to the community.
Yes. I would like to see that too.
I would love to see truly independent creators lifted up, celebrated, to where it's not just the twos and the fews and the megas.
I want to hear actual legit radio DJs that will talk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listen, this is going to sound like I'm a normie suburban mom, but, you know, Delilah. I like Delilah.
There's nothing wrong with Delilah. I just, there's people. I mean, she's been on the air for a very long time. She has her niche market, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but if you just want something that's comforting,
Yeah.
that sappy stuff,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
And it's relaxing. And Kim Commando. I really like Kim Commando.
Kim Commando's
And
great.
what was the other dude? That he did stuff with Kim Commando all the time as well.
Oh, I can't
He was
think of
the
his
tech
name right now.
guy.
I know who you were talking about, and I can't. He had gray hair.
Yeah.
He's had gray hair since he was about 20.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but he was really good also.
Mm-hmm.
We had a local station that was it was tiny. It was a tiny station. It was there in Abingdon.
It was a shack on a hill.
No, it's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh.
This one was in Abingdon, and it's like they had some of these young people in there. It wasn't a college radio station, but they would just play some of this off-the-wall stuff, and it was great. And you had one of the big bank people came in, bought it, made it go dark.
Mm-hmm. And that is
killed it.
That's a disgusting thing. That really is a disgusting thing. Because it's like, damn it, imagine if it was around now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine the kind of stuff that we could hear and we could discover through that station now if it was still around. When people rob people of that, it's like you're robbing us of opportunity
It's
to
a whole
learn.
community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So public access. Yeah. If you got a telephone, if you got a cell phone, whatever, don't discount that. You don't have to show your face. You can show all kinds of things. Let your voice be heard.
Well, also with the internet.
Over on X, let your voice be heard.
Well, also with the internet now, especially with the VTubers, and I've been telling you about VTubers a lot because I've been getting really into them. They don't show their faces.
Yeah, they got the avatars and stuff.
Now sometimes they will do like face reveals or whatever, and it's just
What does it
whatever.
matter?
It just be like, hey, this is what I look like, because some of the fans really want to know. But whatever. But you can do that stuff now, or people can do that stuff now, and not have to show their face. They don't even have to have a full 3D avatar or like a live 2D avatar. They could have a PNG that lights up.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
But there needs to be a place for public access, for micro minis, for anything like that, for individuals to feel like they have a voice. But be honest, if you've got somebody that you know that they can't carry a tune in a bucket to sit there and go, honey, you keep practicing. But as far as if they want to go, dinner and a show, dissuade them. Tell them the truth. And that's a hard reality for a lot of people.
I mean, American Idol, some of those people did not react well to being told no. But also...
But it was reality.
Oh, yeah. And I know it was just to make fun of those people, which is
That's cruel. That always just,
Yeah.
Anyhow. Everybody's having paranormal. Everybody's having supernatural.
We love public access.
Yeah. We like independent micro minis.
If somehow TV actually does return, somehow, some way, I would like to see public access TV make a full-on blown return.
I don't think it can. I think the technology has gotten to the point, I mean, maybe have that retro, aspect to it, but there's no need. There's no need when somebody can order a camera off Amazon and the microphones and stuff like that and not have to go and deal with a producer and everything. They can just do their own thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just gone. You want to tell the people where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Relentless Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, at Relentless COCWS. Make a return to public access.
Let
Make
your
YouTube
voice be heard.
Turn YouTube into public access.
X has become public access in a lot of ways.
What if Elon Musk bought out YouTube? Or what if he made his own competitive video sharing website?
Oh, I did hear that as far as T-Mobile, that thing with him and Starlink is finally becoming a reality.
It is?
And when it does, we will definitely switch over to that, because when our electricity goes out, we have nothing. We have no form of communication.
Yeah.
So definitely be looking forward to that. Welcome to the Age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius.
Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
Sometimes these shows sound like my therapy sessions all over the place.
You are loved. Always
Yes.
remember that.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.